You've worked hard to earn and save. Now it's time to make your money work hard for you. This is Empower Your Retirement with Frank and Frankie Guida of A Better Way Financial.
Every week, we like to do some baseline financial 101 information. Again, we do this radio program to educate and empower and inform. But when it comes to our finances, even some of the basic stuff can be confusing, guys. I know you see it every day.
Absolutely.
It's very frustrating. You think you are smart. You raised kids, you've had a career, and here you are standing at the doorstep of retirement, and you're like, huh? That's what I feel.
There's no courses on this stuff in school.
I know. Well, that's why you guys are here. So, again, Finance 101. Like so many people, when you retire, if you have a 401k, the question then becomes, what do I do with it? What's the best move now? Generally speaking, there are two choices. You can either leave the money in the former company's plan, or you can roll it over to an IRA. So when we retire, if we have a 401k, guys, what should we know about these moves? And what do you recommend to clients?
Well, Heather, 401k plans can be awesome, especially during your accumulation stages of life.
Okay.
I mean, how cool is it that if you're getting your paycheck, before you even get your paycheck, they take the money out for you and save it?
Yep.
I mean, that is a wonderful thing.
Yep.
If you have that Roth option where you can put that money into the Roth option and have it grow for you tax-free throughout the years, that is a wonderful thing. Mm-hmm. And, even some of the choices in that 401k plan for accumulation purposes can be very, very decent choices. A lot of people don't choose the right ones because they don't know which ones they are. But a lot of these 401k plans do have good choices for that.
Okay.
But when you start approaching retirement, the whole game changes, because now you have to start thinking about all different types of things. Number one is risk. I mean, most of these 401k plans don't really have good options to protect you, in case of market crashes. And I'll tell you what, if you've saved $1 million in your 401k plan and you're looking to retire in the next year or two, and you have a 2008 scenario where the market crashes and now you only have $500,000, how comfortable are you going to be going into retirement?
Not very.
Not very.
No.
So, and then you look at the fees inside and you look at all of this different stuff, and it becomes an issue, doesn't it?
Yeah. And this is a question we usually get asked almost every month is, well, what options do I have with my 401k and how does this get taxed? And so we usually look through their options. We show them, all right, well, here's your option. Like you were saying, you could keep it in the 401k, you could roll it into an IRA. And we show them, here's the advantages, here's the disadvantages of keeping it versus rolling it. And a lot of times we're able to show them that they can do a lot better with it in their own IRA and having us manage it rather than keeping it in their 401k.
Okay.
And then they're wondering, well, if I do make that transition, well, how does that affect me tax-wise? Do I end up paying any money in taxes? I heard that there's a lot of money you have to pay if you take the money out of the 401k. And I said, well, if you take the money out of the 401k and spend it, yes, that you would have to pay taxes in. Okay. But what we can do is we can do a direct, a trustee-to-trustee transfer and move that money from your 401k to your IRA. It is a non-taxable event. So you don't have to pay any money in taxes to make that transition. And when it's in that IRA, now you have access to more investment options than you previously did. You have options with tax planning that you might not have within that 401k. And we were able to show what you can do with that option there. And so we're able to show them what that looks like as far as tax consequences or lack thereof go. We also do a risk and return analysis. We show them what are the risks and returns of their current 401k or their current portfolio, and what are the risks and returns of what our recommended portfolio is for them. And we show them a lot of times that they could potentially even get a higher rate of return or potentially be able to even lower their risk over the course of their retirement years by consolidating that portfolio and having us manage it. But there are some advantages to keeping the funds there. There are also some disadvantages to keeping the funds there. There's some advantages to rolling the funds. There's some disadvantages to rolling the funds. Some of the advantages of keeping the funds where they're at is that there's no required minimum distribution if you're continuing to work past your RMD age. So if you're 73 or 75, depending on what RMD age you have for you, if you're still working at that company, there's actually no required minimum distribution for that 401k. So that can be a benefit of continuing to keep some of those funds in that 401k. They also recently passed a rule of 55. And so with this, if you have the money in your 401k, you can actually distribute those funds, assuming you separated from service. So whether you got laid off, whether you quit your job, whether you got fired, regardless, if you're past age 55 with that most recent employer, you can actually take the money out of that 401k without having to pay that 10% penalty. So you don't have to wait till that age 59 and a half like you would with an IRA.
Okay.
Now that's a rule of 55 for most positions. For some specialized positions, it's actually age 50. So if you're a firefighter or an EMT or a police officer, that's actually at age 50, you could take the money out of that retirement account without having to pay that 10% penalty.
When you say take the money out, do you mean roll it over into an IRA? Because if you just take it out, then that does create tax consequence, even if the fine is not there.
So, no, I am saying to take it out as an income distribution.
Okay.
So if you take it out for income, like let's say you retire at 55 and you're like, hey, I need some income over the next 5 years.
You can start taking it as you would normally for most people over 59 and a half. Oh, the numbers, Frankie. This is why we do the Financial 101. It gets so complicated. Yeah. Okay, please continue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean you get out of the taxes. If it's pre-tax money, you still have to pay the taxes.
Yeah.
So there's no penalty, but you still have to pay the taxes.
Okay. Yep. Got it.
And so those are something that it's more of a niche thing. But if you retire at 55 or 56 or 57, you need some income.
Yeah.
Well, that's a place you can tap into it if you don't roll those funds to an IRA. But once you roll those funds to an IRA, you have to wait till 59 and a half to be able to get that money out without the penalty.
Okay. Got it.
And so we look into this. We make sure that we're doing everything the right way for you over the course of your retirement years. But some of the disadvantages of keeping the money in the 401k is a lot of them have limited investment options, especially when it comes to safety for your retirement portfolio. I was just looking at another person's situation for what their investment options were within their 401k, and they said, I wanted safety, so I put my money in the stable value fund. And it's been real stable. It hasn't gone up at all. It's like 0 to 1%.
Oh, no.
I'm like, these are terrible options to be able to grow your money. And so we want to make sure that if you're going to have safe money in your retirement years, that you're getting good growth with it. And we're able to show you strategies within the IRAs that you can get a better growth option than the no market risk options that are provided within the 401ks. Also, not a lot of 401ks allow for Roth conversions within their plans. That some of them have gotten better, but there's still a lot of them out there that don't allow you to do those Roth conversions. And that can be a problem because if you want to start getting ahead on doing those Roth conversions and transitioning and making more of your portfolio tax-free, you want to be able to do that. And within a 401k, they don't always have that option available. Whereas the IRAs, you can Roth convert those all day long if you needed to. And so that's a disadvantage of keeping it in the 401k. There's also can be high fees within the 401ks and some of the mutual funds that are in there. Some of them, it depends on your plan. I've seen, over 1% in some of those fees. And so it's important to make sure that you're not overpaying in fees for the 401k plan. So we look through those options. We make sure that if you're going to keep some of those funds in the 401k, that you're not overpaying and that you're getting a reasonable rate of return. And so if you'd like, we can put together a complimentary risk and return analysis for you, or a 401k x-ray, where we're going to be able to show you what options you have within that 401k. Should we keep things the way that they are? Or should we roll it over? Should we show you options to be able to get a better potential rate of return or lower some of that risk, and show you the pros and cons of what it looks like over the course of your retirement years? And so if you're 55 and older and you saved $500,000 or more for your retirement, give us a call right now for your complimentary risk and return analysis. The number is 610-440-3722. That's 610-440-3722.
We have folks listening to us all the time here on 790 WAEB. We have one fellow, he was listening to us for a while. He decided, let me go check out that webpage, abetterwayfinancial.com. He went there. He found out we were doing workshops. He decided to come, and then he decided to come in. The fellow was 66 years old. He had $1.6 million saved. He wanted to live on $50,000 a year. But he was concerned. It didn't seem like his portfolio was making enough money, and it also seemed to have too much risk.
Yeah, and we said that you're a perfect candidate for our risk and return analysis. And we found that since 2000, his portfolio only had about a 5.5% rate of return, and could lose as much as 35% or $565,000 in a major market crash scenario like 2008. And so what we did is we showed him a recommended portfolio that had around a 7.5% rate of return over that same 25-year period. So on average, about $32,000 more in growth per year. And we also were able to reduce some of that risk down to a 25% drawdown. So if the market crashed, he would have protected an extra $165,000 of his hard-earned money for retirement.
Yeah.
And so by having that portfolio set up the proper way and the way that we were recommending it, we were able to show him that this could translate to being able to spend more in your retirement years. In fact, you could actually double your retirement income, what we told him. And instead of going to $50,000, you could go over $100,000 of income after taxes coming in per year and growing with inflation over the course of his retirement years. And it all started with him giving us a call for that complimentary risk and return analysis, which we're going to be able to offer for the next 5 callers here today. So if you're 55 and older and you save $500,000 or more for your retirement, give us a call right now for your complimentary risk and return analysis. The number to dial is 610-440-3722. That's 610-440-3722.
Thanks for listening to Empower Your Retirement with Frank and Frankie Guida. To learn more, visit abetterwayfinancial.com.
By contacting us, we'll review aspects of your retirement portfolio to include suggestions about how best to utilize estate, tax, and retirement planning strategies and other financial services, or if changing management styles is appropriate for your specific needs and objectives. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendations to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. A Better Way Financial is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any client experiences discussed during this show are unique to that client, and they are not meant to imply or suggest you will experience the same results. Advisory services offered through A Better Way Financial. Insurance offered through licensed professionals at A Better Way Financial. Pennsylvania Insurance License number 301779.